What's up, everybody? I don't know if you see the live yet. I'm just trying to bring it up on my phone and on my laptop so that way I can what do you call it? See it, see chat and everything. All right, cool. So we're good. Let me just throw in a quick little poll or something to get people to do stuff. Maybe no, I'd rather not. Okay. Engage with your audience. Let's do start a poll. Long or short. Short. Let's say, actually, all right, yeah, you know what, we can start with that. Short. Long or short. Easy. Simple. All right. I just got my chart set up here. And let me set my alarms for 9:43. 9:58. Just to keep me out of trouble as far as like news releases come out. A little 2 minutes before news and everything. So we have 9:45 news and we have 10 o'clock news today. I think we have new home sales at 10. And we have PMI at 9:45, I believe. Let me double check Forex Factory real quick. Waller speaks at 9:35. I don't know what that's about. Opening remarks, Bank St. Louis. All right, whatever. Yeah, PMI at 9:45. So, and we have IMF meetings all day, so IMF will be dropping headlines. We'll see how much they influence markets. It's a very interesting landscape that we're in right now, considering Tesla earnings were pretty crap, but market gapped up anyway. Obviously, right now the gap up has not necessarily much to do with Tesla, more so China deal and tariff situation. So that's what they're using to smoke screen a gap up. So I'm biased higher. Like I said, I've been targeting this structure. This has been kind of my macro view is this week, these week highs and everything, failure swing highs. So we're targeting previous week highs, which are all marked out. Let's do that. So you see you have previous week highs up here, and then you have previous 2 week highs. And that's kind of what I'm going for this week's objective. Today, I'm not really sure. It's a pretty big range. I mean, in terms of gapping, gapped up pretty high, and then so the regular trading hours gap will actually be even larger than the new day opening gap that I have outlined over here. So I'm actually going to just move that aside just a touch. We're going to get rid of this because I don't believe it's important anymore, or at least not. I'm not going to pay it any mind. It may be, but it's not what I'm going to choose. I just have to, you have to declutter the chart as you go. I'm just going to throw a quick thing in the Discord. Everyone live now. First, Luca's putting in a little bit of the first 4 hour fair value gap or new day opening gap. Then I think it'll be a bullish trend day, so I'm going to be sharp and ready once we react off a high time print. Nice, man. Sounds good. Solid bit of analysis there. I think you're probably right. So we will see what happens. We'll see what's given. Yeah. So right now we're kind of stuck at the top of ES has the new week opening gap and NQ has the midpoint of the new week opening gap, older, both older points of reference and older new day opening gaps, okay? But yeah, anyways, I was saying the regular trading hours gap is going to be larger. Sorry, my phone just slammed down. That's my bad. So anyway, the new day opening gap, or excuse me, the regular trading hours gap is going to be far larger. So we may run into about half of that. We'll see. We'll see where the market wants to go, but I'm definitely thinking we could get some retracement. There's a lot of S&T on the lows from London and whatnot. Like this rally has already kind of put in some S&T, so it'll be interesting to see whether we hold those S&Ts or not. If we don't, I'm not gonna let it ruin a bias. I'm just gonna kind of continue to go with the flow here and wait for what the open has to offer. And again, like we do have a lot of news today, so granted it's not 8:30 news. It's the 9:45 news is still pretty high impact. PMI is still going to be pretty much a big deal. What's up, Luca? How you doing, man? So yesterday we took an absolute licking on this account. So obviously with every fiber of my being, I want to size up and blast the charts, but we're going to try to be cool and, kind of take the medicine for what it is, especially since today's a little bit tricky in terms of how much follow through we'll get, just because we gapped up so large and then and now we've rallied heavily overnight. So we do have to be careful about expectations, at least in the AM session, unless this thing's just going to rip on news. So that's kind of where I'm thinking about it. So yeah, so real quickly, let me so at first I kind of liked these lows for a retracement. I still kind of do, considering their wickless for NQ to kind of come into a point of interest here. Let's see if that lines up with what Luke is saying. I think that's the 4 hour low at 18,838. Where are we? 18,838 is all the way over here. So we'll see. It may hold these lows considering their SMT, and that would move into the 4 hour gap. We'll kind of play it by ear. You have this order block down here, 15-minute, that it may hit price and go higher. We won't be opposed to that. We do have some impulse range that was not retraced to 50%. So if this low does get taken, I'll be looking for some sort of support in this area here. Same sort of thing for ES. So we have impulse ranges that did not that were not properly retraced. So that could be a potential target. Again, that's weird. So I think we're going to see something very different here on NQ, because I'm pretty sure that's what I checked. Yeah, so I really don't understand. Sorry, this is just a little VWAP line. Sometimes I have it up if I'm in a trade. It's like a good intermediate target. So I'm not really sure why exactly. It's usually never like this. They're not as bad, but the data feeds have been very off from NQ to MNQ. This contract, or at least the last few weeks, like a lot of discrepancy here. So NQ you can see on TradingView, and I'm pretty sure it'll be the same on, like, even if I switch this here. Yeah, so it's the same. So MNQ, you could see, did not go into the new day opening gap, which is interesting to me. Usually those things get corrected, so that could be a piece of information, a helpful piece of context. If that's the case, also you can see how no index really dove into the new day opening gap except for NQ. MNQ, obviously, by these standards, none of them have. And both YM and MNQ have wickless candles that are touching that new day opening gap. So if it wants to puke completely and kind of roll into these new day opening gaps, then that's fine too. I mean, what is it? It's Wednesday, so that gives us Wednesday retracement, Thursday, Friday continuation, which is also possible if you think of the weekly profile. So you have a midweek like pause or midweek retracement, and then if that makes sense with earnings, right? Like Google, not like that seems to matter right now because Tesla had crap earnings, but oh, sorry about that. Um, yeah, so anyway, like we would have a midweek retracement and then ending week continuation, so it would kind of be one of these, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Today could go. That's why today may be a little bit tricky. Today may be a down day, based off of like maybe Tesla drags us down. Maybe Tesla pukes at the open, and starts to drag the index down. Maybe there's fear, like you know what I mean. Maybe the news, like the PMI fear, is kind of come out. Maybe there's some sort of inflationary sort of narrative there. You know, who knows? Something to give the excuse for price to move lower. And if it does, I mean, obviously there's targets here. So yeah, that's where my head's at. I guess I'll mark that out. But I do find it interesting that no one has really meaningfully probed into the new day opening gap. And if we were going to have a retracement, I think today would probably be it. I mean, maybe if you have Wednesday, Thursday, like absolute ripper, then you would have a thank God it's Friday setup, and then the 30% range would be relatively meaningful retracement. That could happen towards New York and not just like a London trade, which that usually does happen. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think for now, like we just kind of gotta stay put, and there's like not much else to really do, you know? How is everybody in here? How you guys doing? I guess the real question also, or the real um, decision I'll have to make is like, do I want to place any trades before news today? And that might depend on the action. Well, it's actually 100% going to depend on the action. What the hell am I talking about? It is 1000% going to depend on what the type of action is. So we wait until then. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the SMT holding us. The more that I look at it, just considering the candles are wickless, I may look at, let's take a look at our trading view charts just to triple check everything. Okay, so yes, it does have some wicks down here. They're not crazy. They're not incredibly, convincing wicks, but they exist nonetheless. It's not like a complete flat bottom like we have here or here, or, well, there they are. They exist. So let's see. Let's just take a look here. No real divergence on the upside either. YM did not take the high. It looked like it for a second, but nothing there. We got about 15 seconds towards the open, and then we're in action. So Keep in mind the 4-hour candle would have to close above the new day opening gap or above the old new day opening gap anyway for it to create that fair value gap. That's relatively close. So right now we have NQ pulling away to the upside. ES and the Dow are lagging towards the top of the new week opening gap as well. That's typically something I can get short on. Why is this showing? I mean, did it not take the high? Maybe not. I could have sworn it did. I think there's candle data missing up here because I'm pretty sure it took that high. I'm gonna switch to my trading view chart. It did take the high. Okay, there it goes. Candle data finally loaded in. Finding some support off the bottom of the or at the top of the new day opening gap. Let's switch to some micro time frames and see what's going on. I'm definitely not opposed to hunting a short around here. I'm kind of waiting though because of that reaction on NQ towards the top of the old new day opening gap. This is the old new day opening gap. But as long as ES kind of behaves the way it is and kind of stays below, I would like NQ to move into the old midpoint. It's a little more conviction for a short. It's wickless. Also, like I said, anyway, what I was saying was the 4-hour candle does need to close somewhere up above here for it to create some sort of fair value gap. So there goes ES playing catch up, so that's good. But the annoying part, check it out, nowhere near midpoint. So these contracts are so out of whack with each other, and it matters so much to what I do. So it's been tough, like navigating what's the correct timing because of these differences. You know, like this is a big deal. Midpoint of that new week opening gap is a big deal to how I interpret price and like whether a high should hold or not. And when the full size contract is not in sync with the micro contract, which I don't know why, I think it's all the volatility has completely crushed spreads. So where they're not even keeping it close. Um, or maybe, look, maybe that is considered close, to a lot of people. But for the way I view it and the way I like to work with price is like that's way too much of a difference. It's like night and day. It's go or no go type of difference. So it makes it a bit more. There's more uncertainty in this in the way I have to navigate here, and more uncertainty that I have to tolerate. Slow type of open for now. I'm gonna open up the regular trading hours. Sheesh. So this is about to get incredibly messy, but what we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to put quarters. We'll just do RTH gap and RTH gap, okay? And then I will switch that back. Also, wow, hold on. Let's just take a look. I mean, there's no rush to do anything, so let's just hang out here for a second. We've now created two islands, and we've gapped up over an old gap, which is super weird. I guess that means we're going down, at some point. This is like no action, no action, no action. This one at least visited around the midpoint of it. This is about a quarter of this one. Yeah, I'm sure we probably play around up in here, probably around up in here. Look, could we leave this alone? Probably. Whoa, wait a minute. No, okay, that's what I thought. So these still weren't taken. I mean, these lows to me, structurally weak. At a great spot. Look at that. That's absolute equilibrium of the yearly range on ES. Look how we just turned around off there. So we're gonna switch back now. I mean, not much else to see now at this point. Kind of is what it is. Let's go back to Topstep. We've got a nice little push down there. But YM has everybody's taking the high here. I'm not going to really make a move on this type of short just yet. These are those 15-minute lows. I'll mark them out just for it. But let's see. Actually, this is what we'll do. We'll mark these out because I think those are a little bit. Maybe it takes these, leaves this low alone. If it doesn't, again, I mentioned what I'm looking at is the previous impulse range that never went to 50%. So I guess I'll measure that out as well on both indexes because you can see ES did not visit that range either. So we have a bit of a manipulation higher, NQ into the midpoint of the old new week opening gap and then immediately reversing and turning over. I think the timing of everything right now is just a little weird for me. So again, that's why I'm kind of staying away. I could look at, so here are our targets. Also nicely. So midnight is right around here, which is right around the halfway point of okay, that's a huge expansion candle to the upside. Somebody must have said something. Glad we stayed out. ES looks like it's reaching for that weekly high. Close to, yeah, previous week's high is just about to rip here. There's no news that I know of. I'm looking at my phone for a squawk. So it just says Fed's Waller does not comment on outlook for monetary policy. So that was it. Maybe the market was waiting for that to rally. And the no comment, kind of, here you go, breaking. White House considers China tariffs to de-escalate, or slashing China tariffs to de-escalate the trade war. It's a little spineless, but, whatever. Look, as long as businesses aren't getting crushed, it is what it is. Maybe we didn't have as much leverage as we thought. But, I don't know. Or they're going to prop up the market to just reinstate them later. Get everybody to, well, and that's, by the way, that headline is just considers. There is no firm stopping here. That's solely, that is solely in maybe. Like, we may slash tariff, so you may see this move get shoved right back down. That may have been liquidity purposes solely. Oh, so where were we? Anyway, duh. You have midnight right around, let's see, China tariffs likely coming down to between 50 and 65% from the Wall Street Journal. I don't know where they're getting that. Like, maybe it is correct, but we'll see. Oh, shit. So now we have, anyway, I keep losing my thought because of these squawks. Right around midnight, we have the midpoint of the regular trading hours gap. And I'll have midnight marked out. I guess I should, shouldn't I? I'll do it. Doesn't hurt. Just more blue lines. Charts are very cluttered, but that's okay. I'll operate in the chaos. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, we did have the S&T here right towards London, like a London AM session close, whatever, I don't know, or PM session, I don't know. One of them, I think London closes at like 11, so I don't know what part of London this is, but 4:15, 5 o'clock. It's close to New York open at like 7. But we had the S&T on the 15 here. So I'm not surprised if we run straight for our targets. So ES took out a 4-hour swing here, but left the previous week's high alone for now. Again, nothing for us to really do yet. That does create a partial S&T. I don't really care about it yet. We're really gonna have to do something else for me to really care about it. Yeah, I mean, there's a good ripper. Look at where. Okay, so we have a little bit of no S&T there though. Not even with the Dow. On these lows you have it, but I would have much rather seen would have liked to seen the Dow at least take this low, not just these lows. We have a great move into this fair value gap. Change in state of delivery, creating an order block, breaker, inversion, fair value gap, regular bullish fair value gap, using the midpoint of the new week opening gap. Tons of confidences for the long side. I'm just not biting. We have news in 3 minutes. On flow, I just saw Tesla catching some bullish flow. Not that I'm not subscribed. I just have some squawks on my Twitter that come to me. So a bullish call buyer. So people betting on Tesla to continue moving up. Fade the earnings report. U.S. eyes 35% for items not deemed national security threat. Okay. Just another tariff thing. So we have 9:43. We have news in 2 minutes. Again, I'm staying out of the market until then, at least. And then we'll see what happens at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I don't. 10 o'clock, I don't really care as much about. I've taken 2 trades already. One stop break even after half, and then the other full TP at 1 to 2. 1K locked, so 4 out of 5 on my XFAs. Hell yeah, man. Great trades, dude. I'm assuming you trade the long side, Luca. I'm going to say Luca probably took a sweep into this down move. Maybe, I don't know. Or did you buy it after here? I remember you saying something you like the break of structure. So you probably waited for this and maybe just longed the top of that candle. One short, one long. All right, so maybe you got short the open. And then you took the long. So, yeah, I don't know. What was I talking about? I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, right. New home sales, I don't really care too much about. It's really just PMI. So 9:45, I'll kind of look at, and or at least I'll stay out until then. And then as far as 10 o'clock goes, I think that'll just be continuation velocity, like a velocity driver for continuation in whatever direction we're headed. So maybe, maybe 10 o'clock or 9:45 manipulates to the upside and then we retrace all day, or vice versa. Constantly trying to etch out the narrative. Would be interesting to see it go higher here. I think it makes sense with all the technicals, so we'll see. I mean, that's just my guess. Bit of a drip, bit of a jitter. think people are buying tech right now. Like individuals, I'm seeing a bunch of flow. PMI actual 50.7 versus the 49. Services PMI flash 51.2 versus 52 forecast. Okay. So yeah, it looks like it wants to climb higher. Just a whole lot of chop. I mean, had this fair value gap, this down close candle, maybe this low should hold. If I wanted to chase along, I'd probably just kind of get involved for the drift to the upside. I'm hoping that there's going to be a better opportunity for me. There's nothing that I don't feel incredibly comfortable putting the risk on there, even though we do have all these confluences. It's just a weird sort of form, and no real volatility out of that news either. I mean, it's almost a big nothing burger. Which is cool. Maybe the market just drifts up all day. It may wait for 4 or 10 a.m. open. Not necessarily for the news, but just for structurally, like the candle. But the question is what does that candle look like? Does that candle open low? Probably, right? If we're going to move higher. If today's a rally day, that candle needs to do open low, high close. But if it's a retracement day, then it's going to go open high, low close. Just trying to work through the the logic of how it should look. Four factor is kind of crazy. I didn't realize that there's like a forum for people to like comment. And this guy goes, you know, I'm not gonna say it, but he went to the bathroom and came back to a 1 hour break of structure, missed entry. You can guess what he said instead of bathroom. I'm not really sure what YouTube allows me to say and what it doesn't. That could be a nice little 15-second long. Right into that fair value gap there. It's a little high in premium town for me, but yeah, it's the first sign of what do you call it? Some expansion. Yeah, nice. You're famous now, no more attention. Oh, because ICT commented on my stuff. Yeah, I wish. I wish it's how it worked. I mean, it's cool to just I get the nod from him. You know, I've been studying this stuff for years, so it's cool that he saw it, you know, and gave the little nod of approval, little tip of the cap. That's cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice. I don't know if he'll come up and pop up in the stream at all, but yeah, that's funny. Yeah, not famous as you could see. Got about 4 viewers in here. Yesterday, I mean, I'm still peeved about taking this loss in the combine. I kind of like took it as the cost of doing business. Like you know, people started coming in. I said, you know what? What's a G in the combine if you can kind of build some following here and you know get people to actually watch the trades. You know, you're not talking to yourself on the stream all the time. Motivating you to start live streaming again. Yeah, man, you should. I don't see. I think it's good for a few reasons. I think it's good because it kind of keeps you from doing too much of dumb stuff. You know, if you know, kind of hacks the ego into behaving correctly, which I think is a good thing. You know, if that's something that you may struggle with. And then it's just kind of good to document. You know what I mean? And you just never know, man. You just never know who's going to see what. You never know who's going to do. You know, I don't know. It's just why not? Why not? Meet some cool people along the way. Basically, there's little to no downside. Little SMT there on the 15-second chart. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. You can see we took this low on NQ, did not take it on ES, which was nice, and NQ actually came in, swept these corrective lows, ran up. It's a nice little buy now. ES is probably going for this high. Little micro SMT. So it does work. Whoever was busting my chops yesterday. I think it was some other, I think it was need to get rich quick ICT, which was funny. Whoa. Is it 10 o'clock yet? I don't believe that move. I think that move's trash. No way ES leaves short of the weekly open. You're out of your mind. Or not the weekly open, that weekly high. You're literally out of your skull. Guys, can I get a little bit of feedback? Is the clicking and clanking too much? Can you hear that? Like, is that annoying? Because I can't tell. I mean, I'm like net deaf to it, but I'm constantly doing it just to keep my hands busy. But is that like, is that annoying? Can I get some feedback on that? Does it bother anybody? Is it too loud? And are these ones better if I use this one? So if I use this, these ones are a little bit heavier, so they make less of a clink. They make more of a louder kind of noise. I don't know. Let me know. Let me get out of a 15-second chart. I'm gonna get out of the weeds here. Yeah, I'm not believing the retracement just yet, or it's gonna be hard for me to take this retracement. It may go down and start to retrace here because we're getting close to the 4-hour close. It is a little bit. Why don't you put some quiet music on to drown it out? I like to nibble a toothpick when I trade, so I do get it. Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately I don't know. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any. What do you call it? Like the copyright free music. I just won't do it, or I won't do it as often. I'll give my elbow a break too. But I appreciate the honesty. But yeah. Anyway, hard to get involved in shorts here. Kind of makes sense if the 4 hour is going to go down, like, you know, open, low, high, close type of action. But if it is going to retrace into the gap, then this could be just a valid short, and then we just built more liquidity to the upside. And we do have the S&T over here, so maybe I'm overthinking it. And I also just don't like how we are in two separate areas with this old new week opening gap. I missed it. This was the entry. I should have remembered. It's difficult kind of juggling both the streaming and being as attentive to the charts. So we do have the SMT here. Yes, yes, left this just shy, but I probably should have used the context. That's on me. Question is will we get a, it's 9:56 now. Might be a little late to get involved as far as the next candle open may go. More news at 10. Yeah, there's new home sales. I don't think it'll be that deep, but it's volatility nonetheless. On Forex Factory, it's a yellow folder, so if you use investing.com, that's about 2 stars, but investing.com deems it a 3-star, so a high volatility event. I don't think so, but we're not in the, and it's all regime dependent, right? It depends on, what the narrative is at the moment, like what matters. When inflation and rates were, a big factor, new home sales mattered. I mean, they still are, so rates are definitely still are a factor, but more so the tariffs. Sorry, brain farts. Exhausted from yesterday's stream. Dude, I couldn't even go to the gym yesterday. I was so tired. 6 hours is too much. We're not doing that today. Volatility is vitality. Yes, sir, it is. It's definitely something. Hmm. News in 2 minutes. I want to take the short, but I'm not going to. Ah, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I would not be so hell bent over the oh, nice volume imbalance in the 1 minute. I would not be so skeeved, but I mean, that's pretty precise. We're just not matching on either of the indexes, so it is very interesting. I do also want to be careful of 10 o'clock open manipulating higher. Equal highs versus creeping up. There goes it disqualified. Wickless candle, fix that. I'm not really keen on pulling it just yet. I slept so hard for 10 hours. 16 hours nearly killed me. Yeah, that's insane. 16 hours is, dude, I don't even know I don't even know what you were doing. That's insane. But I remember those days. I remember spending those types of days in front of like, it was always came after a bad day too. I would like just relentlessly be on. I remember creating fake emails on this platform called, I think it was Trade Syncer, because they had minute to minute market replay, and the candles would actually, it was actual candle data like this, not like trading view replay where it's just blocks, candle blocks. And I would practice on that for like hours. And every day, like they give you like, I think it was like a multiple day free trial or something. Okay, there's the flush. Let's see. That was 10 a.m. Right back down, takes the low. Yeah, we're staying out. Okay, so there goes ES taking the previous week's high. NQ creates equals with a 4-hour swing. I know you can't see it now, but that's just because this stupid data is not loading. But yeah, man, I remember those days where it was just a grind because it was so, like, I was so hungry to understand why I was wrong. And yeah, those were quite, I remember those days, like 15 hours, like same like you, like all day, like just obsessive, relentless about it. I think that's kind of what it takes. Depending on timeline and like I guess really who type of personality. Like for me, I'm really stubborn. So and I find comfortability in reps. So the more reps I can take, the better I feel about, um, my ability to, produce. So yeah, yeah, I remember those days. Luckily, I don't. Those days are over, and it's more of a relaxed vibe now. I get on, I trade. I think at a certain point you kind of give into, you know what you know, and there is, there's. I think what I kind of gave into was like I can only control so much in these markets at my level of understanding, and if the more I understand, it'll be marginal on how much I control, because even at a point, um, my understanding will unfortunately not take me all the way there. Like there will still be times where the market acts irrationally, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I think that was kind of where I got really comfortable with where my trading was at, and accepting where it was at. That is mastery demands obsession, as they say. Yeah, I think so, 100%. If you want to get really good at something, you have to be obsessive over it. Just is what it is. Obsession and delusional optimism, I think, are like the two strongest traits. You have to be delusionally optimistic, so that way you aim incredibly high, and when you miss, you fall. You know what I mean? Like, what was that? Was that saying like aim for the moon, land upon the stars, or something like that? That's very true. Sorry, I'm trying to shuffle the chips quieter. I don't know if you can tell. Ay, 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 ay. It's really tough, like day after a loss, coming off of the day after a loss, and like trying not to chase moves or, deciphering when you're going to pull the trigger. That's a tough thing. It's a really shallow run above the previous week's high, but it is a run nonetheless. I'm looking at that gap as a possible inversion. I'm going to try one there. I like how we came into this gap, rejected, inverted this one. I think ES, shallow, yes, but a run above previous week's high nonetheless. We do have NQ not moving into the high, so that is where I could be wrong here. High volatility, you can see the one contracting moves are pretty large. No SMT on that move, unfortunately, so I think I'm going to just cut that one here instead of letting it go all the way up to this high and waiting for the SMT there. I'm not going to be in a rush to reverse either. Quick little cut there. Right now we're just in this range. I probably just have to wait for it to either break lower or break lower or take the high. A little more on the SMT side here on the 15-second on the lows. Just seeing if there's an excuse for me to get long. But I just feel like if I keep playing this, like if I play a game in here, I'm just gonna get chopped to death. That's what it feels like. So I'll just wait. It's just patience, really. It's just a strain on patience. We do still have SMT on the highs now between obviously this 4-hour swing and the other weekly high, but so this is where structure matters a lot to me. This is kind of what I was trying to explain yesterday is yes, this SMT is here and it's, technically valid, but when I've known it to fail is when it's like this, when it creates this sort of, these perfectly equal highs or, so I'm not going to be too aggressive with shorts. I'm going to wait for, more confirmation. That's kind of what this trade was, is like, yeah, I could chase a short as it's coming down here and anticipate this to invert. But instead I waited for the inversion. That's my version of confirmation. And we still, still got wrecked on the trade. So, it is what it is. I think the move is to be greedy with longs today and to be slightly more defensive with shorts. That is, unless we take certain upside targets, then I will be greedy with shorts and defensive with longs. And like like what I mean by those targets is like, if all the indexes start taking previous day high, then I mean not previous day high, previous week high, then I'm obviously going to just start ripping shorts down and look for that regular trading hours gap. White House is coming out with China news. Yeah, I agree. I think for longs, I'll be leaving ambitious runners. Yeah, yeah. I think that's okay, Short side is definitely enticing. It's just man, structure can't catch a break with the type of structure lately. It's a move I probably wouldn't mind trying long there, but really only if I can get a good retracement back into the range. Risk this low. Comes out, sweep these. I may leave this as a breakaway. It would actually probably be better if that was a 15-second breakaway candle. I'm gonna take it there and just, if it enters into here, okay, but I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't. Getting stuck at the highs there. It also just may be a lackluster AM session because of all the movement overnight and whatnot. I don't like how it's creating all those equals. Something's trying to hold price down. And that is present on the regular NQ contract as well. I'll switch up and tell you another thing that I don't find very comforting. Okay, it's actually not as bad on NQ. I thought these were like perfect kind of equal 1 minutes. Okay, nice little, seems like we're breaking out. Do like to see that. That is nice. Let's look at the 1 minute chart real quick. Oh, shit. Feels like scary to hold this one. I don't know. Like, I just feel like long trades take so much, like, playing, like buying, like playing the long side always takes long. Like, it's a lot harder of a trade to hold. Like, it's not like, shorting the market where it's like instant gratification to the downside. Long's always like, and I always kind of say the harder the long is to hold, probably the better it is. They should work relatively instantly. Like if you're like any trade should work pretty much relatively instantly as far as your timing goes. But so far, really nice trade here at 40 points. I'm going to move the stop up to this gap. I don't want to see it come into that. That was what I was afraid of. Do we think we're in trouble here? That's a very deep retracement. That's probably gonna come take my stop and then rip higher. Wow. Damn. That sucks. Don't love that it came in and entered that gap. I'm just thinking right now what I want to do. I don't know how keen I am on chasing along after that. I really feel like if we were going to run up, it should have probably just did so. That's a pretty healthy move down. Perfectly hits that gap. And I don't know how much I really want to chase a short because I don't think we're going, like I think the closest bias at the moment is the downside or the upside. I guess I should have put my stop at even there in hindsight, maybe. I'm not really sure what the best move would have been. I kind of want to give it a chance, but a piece of me kind of like the doomer in me figured I was chalked there and that I should have saved it from being a loss. Unfortunately, only one contract means you live and die by the decision. Two contracts, obviously, be partial at a 40-point profit. Why not? Wow, man, that sucks. All right, maybe 4 hours going to retrace, come down, dip down, and then we run up to take these highs. I kind of have to accept that for what it is. I mean, it's killer precision on that midpoint of that wick. Besides earlier, I'm doing nothing for now. Models mechanical. Yeah, I hear you, man. There's at this point, I'm going to look at shorts. I think. We'll see. I am pretty pissed about that move. Especially if it just gives a straight down sort of move after the fact and it doesn't give me a chance to get on side. That'll be a little annoying. Obviously, other than to just chase it, which I'm going to try not to do. Pending talks. Maybe these lows here, this low here. Into the regular trading hours gaps, I guess. Okay, that's my draw. Obviously now I, have to hope for some sort of retracement, but I have a good idea of where we're headed now. Just got to give me a chance to get on sides with it. Come on. This gap, maybe. Filled there. Nice immediate rejection out of the midpoint of that. And again, we're targeting into the regular trading hours gap. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at on my other screen. I'd like to add into the move. I should have done it a touch earlier. I'm going to do it there as we're rejecting the new midpoint of the other NQ new week opening gap. Look how we use the midpoint here. I guess a little bit too aggressive on the ad there. That's okay. I'll weather it. Add another one there. Look for it to move lower now. Still patiently waiting for ES to move lower. We have SMT, but I'm not too worried about it just yet. I do think that regular trading hours gap needs to be hit. Don't do it to me like that. Come on. I'm gonna add one more there. I like how it's rejecting here. Yes, we have SMT on the lows. There's my risk. That's my risk. Actually, no, let's just protect against the algo spike to the upside. Especially when we have SMT, that's when they're going to come in. Really frustrating action, the fact that we're just hovering above these regular trading hours gaps here. Is it really? So obviously that's like, this is on me if I get stopped out with the average because I added into the move, but I mean, I'm just looking for some follow through here. I mean, this is crazy if I can't get that. That's literally unreal. Probably should have, again, it's definitely on me for moving the average like I did. I don't want to move that stop. I just, you know, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out and I'll wait for a re-entry. It's just, boy, is that like gross. It's been very difficult, man. The last 2 days, I've not been able to catch a break. I guess I really probably should have managed to stop down above this high. Once we had the SMT at least, that should have been my signal. Piece of me was like, you know, obviously I saw this, but I, you know, not every SMT is going to push higher like that. You know, not every single SMT is going to be valid. Like it may just hang around for a second and then there's the algo spike. Not every SMT. 413. What happened? Did I get slipped? I guess. But anyway, as I was saying, I just yeah. I guess I was thinking like, you know, maybe take a couple off there. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to retrace to the last 1 minute gap. Or is that all the way up high? You might be right. I guess, look, I could always get back in. It's just super annoying, man. Like, any other day, the market does not turn around like that. I just don't understand. Like, the action has been so tilting. That's okay, though. I'm just going to, you know, wait, pick and choose my shots a little bit more. It was the right idea. It was a good trade. I was just looking for more. If I just took it off, that would be okay, but that's not how the cookie crumbled. That's now 2 trades where I've been back to even and ended up taking W or L's on them, which is very unlikely. I usually move my stop to even pretty quickly, but that was a what do you call it? Just looking, I averaged in, you know, adding to a winner, trying to get it into the regular trading hours gap, and just could not get there. Didn't even take out this low. You know what I mean? Like, I think we are going to go lower. I just have to be patient. Super, super lame. And I can't trust this down move at this point because why would it not just go for this high now? Yeah, good luck, Luca. I don't know, man. It's a very tough one to trust here. I think it was going to spill over lower. It should have done it when I was in that short. I don't see the reason why it wouldn't come up and make the new high at this point. What it's done is it's built liquidity down here. Obviously, yeah, not even YM. YM didn't even take this low. So I'm in complete, this is complete bullshit land. Um, I do think it's going to go lower, just not right now. And I'm not going to take the long because I'm not going to get crushed on the downside either. I sure as hell am going to get aggressive on that short though. I have the SMT at the high right at that Newswix midpoint, but I'm not interested at trying to top ticket up there. Typically, you could soup that, right? And your stop would basically be ES, not taking that high, but I would not do that. I would advise against it considering the equal highs that NQ has made. I should have gotten more defensive once I saw the SMT on the downside. Still respecting the midpoint of that wick, interestingly enough, but again, I am kind of skeptical. More SMT on the 1 minute now, just between those little wicks. Taking that high with a little bit more gusto. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. If it works, it's not a great environment, considering it's just going to be seek and destroy sort of action. But yeah, I don't know. Typically that's A plus to me for a downside trade here, but because of the way NQ made those equal highs, I can't trust it. I can't trust it. I'm still trying to figure out how I could have better managed the other trade. I guess I could have put buy stops like up above. Like as I was adding aggressively, I probably could have put some buy stops up above this swing high, because that was a round where I added. I wouldn't have taken such a larger loss. Yeah, and then I could have always just added them back in if what I was accounting for was, we may sweep this high, right, and then run back down. That could have been what the SMT was for. Like I said, there's a reason for SMT almost every time. It's just a matter of whether it's a reason for retracement or reversal. So what I was thinking was possible just reason for retracement, right? So SMT for retracement would mean, yeah, there's SMT, and then it creates the market turn, and it'll go up and take this high as a retracement on the 1 minute, and then puke back down, and the SMT then serves its purpose. But I was wrong. I'd be so tempted to take a long up at this midpoint. The way it's just kind of building up here, I feel like it probably blows through it. Have you ever forgotten to remove a stop limit order? Yeah, I have. And I came home. I came home to, it was on Apex. I'll never forget. It was like when I first started trading prop firms. Um, I had a really great day, and I had limits in. And I remember I left to go to work. I was working at a golf course at the time. And when I came back home, I was down like $300, and it was like one of my best days ever. It was like a $700 day, and that was like before, like that was years ago. Like I don't know, like it was $70 days were really good for me. $60, $100 days were really good for me. And I hit like a $700 trade. It came back to it being like 300 red. I was sick, and it was an Apex account, so it's the 700 up and then the 300 down was $1,000 trailing loss. Loss. Yeah, I mean, I ended up blowing it like I don't know, probably the next week because I only had a thousand left, and trailing drawdowns is obviously not like intraday unrealized is not friendly. So look how we're pushing up now. I see how I mentioned that. It's so there are little characteristics where it's like, yeah, it's trying to sell the obvious trade to the downside, but it's just not going to work because of the structure. Like you can say, oh, there was SMT here, and we're still holding the midpoint. We just swept this high. It's a great, you know, we never moved into the regular trading hours gap. We should move down now. But when you have the structure, you pair that type of logic with the structure, it's just, you have to fade that. Yeah, too good to be true trades are tough. It's also hard, man. Like, you always like if you're naturally contrarian, sometimes these setups they become very easy for you to see, but you have to also understand that not everybody's looking at what you're looking at. So not everybody's trading, ICT, not everybody's trading the market dynamics. So there is also a point where you have to understand what's obvious to you is obvious to you because you've become good at what you do. It doesn't necessarily mean it's an obvious trade to everybody else. That's another head trip that you kind of have to be careful of. And that's like another mental, that's something that I've struggled with before. Uh, you know, taking the obvious trade that seems too obvious to me, but I have to try to talk myself into it because it's not obvious to everybody else. This is one of those, right? Like that would be tough, but obviously, like, if this high was, I should have longed it. If this high was, if it had already taken this high, I 100% would have taken this as a short because this is an obvious trade, okay, that not everybody else sees. But if it's structurally correct, then it's 100%. It's just a good trade, and it seems obvious to you because your eye is trained for it. But here, obviously, we know obvious, obvious, obvious. We know that it was a bait trade, like you say, because of the structure on the 4 hour for NQ. Man, I just even yesterday, like, but today especially, I don't feel like I'm trading bad, and my P&L is not reflecting that. So this is a tough one here now. So now you have ES kind of reaching up towards the weekly high, and NQ had just taken the 4 hour long or the 4 hour swing. So I don't think it's done going up. Oh wow, okay. Regular NQ contract has not taken the high yet. So I guess we will long if we get the opportunity on some sort of retracement. There it goes. Regular NQ contract is not taking that high. Hmm. It's the waiting game. Nothing to do. I mean, we're just sweeping over highs right now. Uh, you know, sucks to suck at the moment because we had a good trade to the downside and just kind of got crushed. Took the risk of letting the SMT kind of play, and I guess hindsight I should have been a little bit more defensive, given my P&L was already red for the day. That's annoying. And then obviously I don't know why I didn't take the long. I guess I was just afraid to lose again. I think it was because, yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is I was just afraid to lose again. Because at this point, when we started to rip up higher, I kind of knew that this was not going to hold us. So I don't know why I wouldn't have gotten long there. Maybe I was afraid of retracement, maybe too deep and like, paper handing it because I, was wrong on my bias again. Or not bias, but like maybe timing. So what I don't like about this move right now is that NQ hasn't reached the top of this old New opening gap, but this MNQ has. We do have some S&T up on these highs now, which is nice. Kind of trash, these like tweezer top highs. I don't think I'm willing to gamble on it. That's what it feels like. Looking at the 1 minute chart, trying to see. There is 3 drives on the 1 minute. NQ still does have obvious high objectives. I might just have to stay out of it. I don't know. Take a short there. We'll just risk these highs up here. Because if it's the top, then it's if it's the top, then it's worth taking a shot at. I don't like the little, so what I don't like about the short is how this is the high for ES. If you look here though on the chart, it's kind of convincing with the 3 drives on the 1 minute right by the high. There's S&T between the 2 highs, and Q finally took the 4-hour swing. I do believe that NQ runs for these highs though, so I may be caught offside. I just don't want to this is one of those clear and obvious ones, right? That we're talking about, Luca. That I'm trying to take and kind of disregard some of the structure here. I don't know if I'm going to be adding to this move anytime soon, but that's definitely the velocity that I like to see. Just trying to look at my trading view charts to see if there's anything that I should be noticing. Maybe this is it, man. It's my optimism, but maybe this is it. No. I'm going to keep my stop where it's at because I know if it keeps that high intact, I would probably retake it. And to be honest with you, I'd probably retake it even if it comes up and touches that order block and starts to dip again. I'd be willing to take a couple stabs at this trade. If not, I think it's probably just going to go up. I feel like it needs to move lower now, or or it'll move higher and then just puke the rest of the week, and then it's a tough, like, tough narrative week. You can see that 15-second fair value gap holding price a little bit. That's a good melt through there. Yeah, I feel like, you know, we're clocking good trades. Like, there's nothing wrong with the trades we're taking today. There was one bad trade today, and I don't even call it bad. It was just a loser. But this trade was a good trade. This trade's a good trade. I don't, you know, I feel like we're trading well. We're just not, one, we're not getting follow through, and then, like, we're also just getting punished. You know what I mean? So there's the midpoint of that wick. I kind of have to be careful here. I'd like it to just drown through that. That's where, like, old support could be, or old resistance could be new support. That's a solid swift move out of there. Let's look at the 15 and the 5. Okay, 5-minute fair value gap. It depends, man. Yeah, wow. Maybe, you know, maybe. So what we'll do is, let's put that there. This is going to go to even. I, oh, did it? Just barely. I might give it a shot just because that's, so what I'm looking at right now is the fact that I was going to say, like, there's slight S&T on those lows. Let me look on my actual charts here. Yeah, ES did take that low. That sucks, dude. Probably get stopped out even here. I don't want to take it off just yet, because now we're in, like, OTE of that impulsive leg to the downside. I'm gonna give it a shot to at least continue moving down. Although I think my stop's in jeopardy. See how there's these equal highs here? And ES also made them over here. Like, these are relatively equal. So I'm gonna give it a shot, but I feel like we're gonna come up and take those if we're gonna move up higher. I'm just gonna watch the equilibrium of this swing range on the 15-second chart, see how we react to it. Yeah, it's holding that. I'll give it a couple more seconds. So even on the 1 minute, you can see that we've kind of overshot this 1 minute fair value gap on both indexes. That's never a great sign of vote of confidence, you know. Look how we're working with this midpoint. Freaking ugly. Freaking ugly. I don't like how perfect it is though. So okay, so now if it makes its move higher, oh, and it made equals on the top side. Are you kidding me? Man, I know I have to take profits. That's so annoying. Come on, keep these intact. Just do irrational things. SMT there, maybe I'm safe. No, it's gonna come up and take that stop. Whatever, dude. Let's move it a hair. Oh, okay. I was gonna move it a hair just in case it came up and tapped me out, but I don't know. I'm not holding that short anymore. Wow, man. Guys, we cannot catch a break today. I mean, it was a nice little trade. I could have taken it off. I didn't really. It was hard to see, but I was looking for someone to take these lows. Obviously, ES did. So we do have some S&T, but it's so shallow, man. It's so shallow. But maybe that's how today's gonna be, you know. Wow, just ugly. Do I take the long? I'm just having a hard time flipping the bias. I mean, it's obvious, like, look how we're obviously respecting the midpoint of this impulse range down. We have equals here, equals here. ES has to clean up that thing up there. Okay, you got me. Tough trades to take this morning. Flip-flopping bias the whole time. But just kind of going off structure. Again, I'll get defensive again once we start taking these highs. So I added another one there just because, you know, again, we're coming right back down to the midpoint of that range. ES took these lows. It negates the SMT, but NQ's holding. It just, I don't know. I'm having a hard time like buying the downside story at the moment, the way the microstructure is going. I kind of believe a little bit more in the relentlessness of the upside. We also have this gap here. I don't love where my average is at. I mean, we could see something like kind of stab up into this rejection block maybe. Because really, I think your safest stop is down here, but I'm not going to take that much heat or that much. Oh, man, dude. What am I not seeing? Is it here? Is it this order block? But I don't believe in it. I really don't. Maybe I should. There goes ES a little bit lower. Yeah, maybe. Wow. Guys, man. I mean, we're getting wrecked. We are getting wrecked. Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm. How does it leave those highs intact? I mean, obviously, I guess because it's going higher. And look at the gap here. Man, tough, 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 tough. Like it's not the biggest. It's just like it makes getting involved on the downside really hard because if it took the high, it'd be far easier for me to get involved in the short. Like if at least ES came up and took these highs out, all right, like so what? I'm wrong on the upside. I'll get involved on the downside. But that's a weird move, man. That is a weird, weird move. Really, really hard. I figured maybe the midpoint of that wick was, a little too obvious, but I mean, how we were reacting around the midpoint of the previous swing range is another story. Wow, that's just tough. What are you gonna do? Hmm. Sorry, guys, just trying to think here. Sorry for the quietness. I'm just really trying to think here. I hate this. I hate this structure. I want to be short. You know what I mean? I really want to be short, but I hate how this is laid out. I really do. I hate it. I see the S&T here with ES and NQ. I just, it's so hard to get on board. I mean, obviously, like a lot of people are probably like, oh, the S&T here's obvious. It is. But what I hate is the microstructure of that S&T. It's not just a wick. It's these little stupid tweezer top highs. And I don't mess with those. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I can't believe we've gotten bad breaks like we have. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. Take a sip of water. I think I just need to walk away for a minute. Kind of get my head straight. Okay, we are back. Trying to wait for what's obvious here. Is that obvious? I'm just looking for some guidance. Oh, come on, man. Weak. That doesn't really help me out. What I'm looking for is the midpoint, so the upper quadrant of the new week opening gap. See if that sheds any light on what I'm, excuse me. I guess. I mean, it's just not. I'm having a really hard time getting on board with the short side. "15-second SMT there. If it's going to fall, I'd like to see it do so. And this is the reverse, by the way. So we had SMT on these highs, right, between ES and NQ. Then we had where NQ was stronger. Now NQ is the weaker asset, and ES is the stronger asset. That's what I call SMT inception. It typically follows expansion, or it precedes expansion. So that's why I took the short there. Trying to just trust this move to the downside. Would like to at least see ES take this low before I really think about doing too much with my position. Solid. We have an old gap here. I'll take one off. If I move my stop even, I'm gonna get trailed out, but I don't want to lose anymore. So that's a nice little trade there. I have marked out the 5-minute fair value gap. Let's look at what we had here. This is just that old. This will probably get ran through, and I could use this as some bias as well if I was going to re-enter the trade if we get trailed out here. Okay. I'll wait. So my next, that's a pretty strong move out after taking that high. Oh, guys, I'm gonna crush. Wow, dude. All right, it's okay. Let's just chill out. Bodies are still holding that. The stop above there. Again, I'm looking for this gap to invert now. I'm trying to stay cool. I just wanted to punch the monitor. Oh man. Probably running into the regular trading hours gap now. So I'm using that old gap as my entry point. You know, basically what I was going to do anyway. I just didn't realize it was going to freaking algo spike down. Just trying to minimize some risk here. Oh no, guys, what's happening, man? What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? I'm looking at the news. Oh man, 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 man. The EU and China are ripping the US off. All right. Like, it's just headlines here. Um, thank God for stops, right? But also like curse them because we're pretty much right back at even. We will have a fair trade deal with China. Make a lot of people money, yada yada. Dude, this is dreadful. I still think it's got to go down. Same deal as yesterday. Shorting again. It kind of made this like outrageous wick to the upside. Yes, fixed these highs, and Q held these. I'm okay with that. The only thing I don't love is that NQ is right around the midpoint of that new week opening gap. I don't see why ES wouldn't take this low and this low and this low. So that's why I'm being aggressive with my short entries. Um, I'm going to add one there as it's in that gap again. I think it needs to reject it and move lower. YM still hasn't taken this low either, so that's why I'm confident in the downside for now and why I'm kind of layering in. I'll mark it out so you can see it. These are all sort of A plus signals to me, or A plus draws, I should say. I mean, I guess I'll put down another stop loss just to get spiked out again, but I think I have to be safe at the end of the day as much as it sucks. I mean, it's just to protect against the God candle. My jaw. Clenching the shit out of my jaw. It's crazy action. I wonder if I'm wrong here and it moves up into this gap just to fall back down. I'm gonna measure half of that wick. I really should have puked down over here. I mean, I'm like really not in a good spot. I'm gonna add one. Just looking for the midpoint of the 1 minute wick to hold us down, or what is it, 5 minute, like what did I measure out? 30-second? 30-second wick. 1 minute would be up there. Okay, I mean I'll give it the little bit of room, but preferably just kind of pukes it down here. We've now retraced the algo move. It's in that 5 minute fair value gap. We've inverted both fair value gaps on the 5. So I'm not incredibly uncomfortable. I really do. I really do. I feel like this market goes lower, man. I do. I don't want to like. I'm in a really tough position here where it's like, am I not being patient enough for that downside move though? Like I'm almost positive that we get the downside move. It's just I don't want to wreck myself before we get it. And I'm trying to decipher whether or not my timing is correct here, because that's really all that matters. Like I believe my draw is correct for it to go, lower. But is my timing correct? And if my timing's not correct, am I giving myself enough rope to continue to work with later for that downside trade? Excuse me. If it doesn't start to fall apart here, I'm going to just have to start to layer out of the position. And it'll just be what it'll be. I'll put one more. Just trying to play off the wicks here. I'll add one more as a cheap one there. I don't love the reaction off the 5-minute here. Like I'd like it to bleed through the midpoint of the 5-minute invert CE and then also the 1-minute wick CE. We did get a cheap ad there, kind of give us a couple bucks back, but I don't like how it's holding that. I am in trouble. I'm shocked. I'm gonna save the stop. I don't care. Wow, dude. What a crazy day. What an absolutely wild day. Hmm. I wonder if it's gonna hold that 5 there. I hesitated and now I got a rough fill, but I think I'm going to try to trust the 5-minute invert here at the high. ES has barely moved into the midpoint of it. Size up a little bit just because, trying to make a little bit of scratch back here. Let's throw a stop up over there just to protect ourselves. Again, I really do. I believe in the downside here. And I feel like I'm overthinking all the structure. Like it's a 5-minute invert, we have 5-minute SMT. Just take the trade. You know what I mean? Just take the trade and hold it. Like I think I'm thinking way too much. I'm like way in the weeds here with the micro time frame structure, and I feel like I'm just totally overcooking myself here. Like this is clearly a draw down here with the equal lows. No index has taken it. If it's going to start to move lower, it feels like it has to be here. And I don't care how many equal highs or whatever it's made. It's the market's just going to be weird today. Then so be it. Like, and if that's going to be weird, then let it be weird. Incredibly difficult day. I mean, like even now, like so hard to hold a trade, like I just feel like I've been drowning all day. I'm trying to keep the stops tight because I'm not trying to hang myself over here. What a fight it is to try to just break even today. I mean, that's insane to me. And we're still holding this damn gap. I wish I didn't see it. I know the minute I partial, it's going to rip through. The minute I don't partial, it's going to rip up. Clockwork. Clockwork, clockwork, clockwork. Hold on 1 second. I mean, it's gotta let go of that. It's gotta let go of that gap. Just give me some follow through already. Might be tilted if it starts me off. Oh, 1 second. Let me look here. My stop is right at a wickless candle. That's gotta be the worst place to put it, because I'll probably get wicked right out and then have it run up on me. Let's move it above this high. Just waiting for the puke. Someone's got to take that low. One of the indexes are going to take that low. If it's not NQ, then okay, but oh, man, what a nerve-wracking one, right? It's so nervy because I don't want to be too greedy with it, but I mean, let's be real. Like at some point, you have to try to trust the draw, trust the technicals. It's incredibly difficult, especially with this damn gap in my face. Oh man. And NQ seems like it's the one that wants to be strong. You've got to be kidding me. You've literally got to be kidding me. It's got to hit off this gap and then puke. I'm watching the trading view chart to my left here. Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if your model's correct, Luca. I like, is this taking a very long time? And it's like super weird action. I would not be surprised if they were gonna just range all day, like in this area, and like I could just get chopped to bits. So you could be right. I'm just kind of holding for the I'm holding for the draw. I have to just be confident that like it's it's gonna work out for me. I have to take the trades and let the obvious draw play out. It's early enough in the day where I'm not too worried about it being earnings season, and building these equal lows. It's also very uncharacteristic for all the indexes to not take one of them. I think if somebody had taken the low, Luca, I'd probably be a lot quicker to dip out of the trade. I have to go with the conviction of these lows. I'm going to take some of the clutter away. I think it's just too much. Really need some follow through out of this gap. Like, it's crazy to me how much it's respecting this little 15-second gap right now. Wow, you gotta be kidding me. Just puke. Like, how hard can it be? Just let the market go. I know the second I take this trade off, it's going to fall through the floor. And I'm going to be absolutely gutted. Watching all the indexes. I'm just waiting. Like I'm not partialing just yet because I feel like someone's got to take a low. Like someone's got to give me a clean signal on why I should be partialing. Because right now there's no reason for me. Technically, there's no reason. Obviously, the only reason right now to partial is fear. Fear that the move's gonna fear that the move will reverse on me. And I'm trying to battle that fear as strong as it is right now. It's incredibly strong. You know, I'm looking up here. It says I could have a $200 down day right now if I just pull the trigger. And I'm not really sure what to do, to be honest with you. Really not. I'm really not. It's been a painful, painful day. And Q's at the midpoint of its new week opening gap on the E-mini contract, so I'm definitely going to be a little careful here. But I feel like someone's got to take the damn low. Like, it looks like YM's so close to it. Just do it, man. This is what I'm looking at on NQ. So you can imagine how that's not really helping my nerves. Still no one's taking that low. I feel like I'm holding my breath. This is like, what a difficult, difficult day, man. What a difficult, difficult day. I gotta put on my breathe right strip so I can breathe through my nose. Luke, I saw that message. I'm just trying to tune you out right now. We're gonna partial some there, partial another, move the stop so it's not so much of a bad day. I think NQ may save the lows. That's so interesting how ES is not probing into this regular trading hours gap. I mean, it may choose to play games here, or it's going to completely melt. And if it completely melts, I'm in for a hell of a trade to the downside, possibly down to these lows here, or at least that 4-hour gap, like you had mentioned previously, Luca. So we're just gonna chill out now. What a freaking day, dude. What a freaking day. Thank you for the good call. I mean, this was like mental warfare, brother. Holy shoosh. I'm trying not to curse, but oh man. That is not how I believed today to go. Hopefully this volume imbalance keeps it down. If not, I'm just gonna take my stop, but that's okay. I'm not looking to get too crazy today. I'm okay with $30 red compared to what, 758. Nah, it's gone. Okay. Yo, can I not catch a break today? Can I not catch a break today, guys? Holy shit. Can I not catch a break today? This is like laughable. This is like bad beat of bad beat of bad beat. Oh my God. And dude, when I tell you I was looking to pull the trigger on an ad, did it even take me out? Was I not above that high? Holy shoot, dude. Oh my God. Yo, I gotta lock out before I throw this account into the garbage, man. Holy, oh my God. So okay, let me walk you through what I was thinking here. Was I not above this high? Was my stop not above the high? Oh my God, orders. Where was my stop? 30. Dude, 2 ticks. 2 ticks. I'm sick. I'm absolutely sick. Not my day today, clearly. I've now missed 2 giant algo spikes to the downside. Let me explain what I was doing, why I was hovering my finger over the trigger here. So what I saw was typically what we'll see, man, this is like, that's so disgusting. Typically we may see some sort of like, what looks like is very low resistance highs just kind of get stopped, excuse me, kept while we're trending down. It'll make this kind of trend line liquidity. So I'll look for, my signatures within that. So you have this volume imbalance here. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to drag that across, but you get the point. It's like right there. I was looking for a possible add, and then I quickly moved the stop to break even. We weren't going to risk any more on the day. Um, but obviously, we weren't getting that. It wasn't as clean as it could have been. I would have much rather seen like maybe a pop above, a little bit of candle body over it, but this was a little bit too much for me. So that's why I opted not to add. But I was with a keen eye really trying to look for an add here for continuation to the downside. Because again, today, like I said, could have been just this nasty move into the lows, which is why I was holding that runner. Oh my God, man. 2 ticks, 2 ticks. Like, okay, like, all right, if I couldn't add the whole, like, three, I would have had 4 micros here, right? Like, at pretty much risk free. Like, if I can't get that, fine. I'm not too upset about that. That's me just trying to be smart about not putting on too much risk. And, I figured I had one runner anyway. But to just get trailed out, like, by 2 ticks, man. What the fuck? What a crazy day. I'm done, dude. I'm done. I'll take my $25 loss. Like, I'm so done. I'm gonna lock out the account. Like, we didn't even trade. You know what the craziest part of all of it is? Is like, I didn't even trade bad today. In fact, I think every trade I took was pretty damn good. I mean, what, Luca, you know how you asked me yesterday, like, wow, I can't believe you haven't lost your mind yet? Dude, I'm losing it right now. I'm absolutely losing my shit right now. Um, like this has got to be the most unfortunate day ever, especially off of a huge losing day from yesterday. I mean, how the hell does that happen? I'll admit, like I was too I was too focused on the micro time frames for my own good earlier in the day. Okay, like at least at these highs, way too focused at them on the micro time frames at these highs for my own good. And what I mean is like ES, like this was the only one, okay, that I was like relatively. Um, can anybody also, before I forget, can anybody get clips of me crashing out and make shorts of those? I don't know. Like, I think I know how to do it. I'm gonna have to do it. Fuck me. So, anyway, I was way too. I mean, you can't help but like laugh. Like, it's like I feel like I'm losing my brain, but you, at the end of the day, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I can't help but laugh at this type of nonsense. Holy shoosh. And not, sorry, I'm trying not to curse because I don't know what the deal is with YouTube. Quick little check on the dump here. How stoked are we? Came up, fixed the flat top. Wow, so, 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 so gross. Anyway, too focused on this tweezer top here to like so that's why when I zoomed out, I said, okay, it's obvious. Like just trade the obvious setup. Like you're thinking far too much about the microstructure. Like the higher time frames are telling you it's a short. And in my defense, this is like not something like I don't like this, right? This is not a top tick that I would like to take because of the structure here. I don't see why ES would not have come up to take these highs. And I don't see why NQ wouldn't have done something similar either. To me, that's what kept me out of the trades over here, and actually what made me feel like I need to long. It wasn't necessarily that like ES didn't even have to run up above this high. ES just could have like how I was thinking about the narrative was the midpoint, right? I don't know, do we have to measure it out? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, brain is stupid now after getting absolutely hosed like that. What I was looking for was the narrative was just from a move from here to until ES takes out these highs, maybe fixes this gap. Okay, if it wanted to go higher, great. I don't care. I'm positioned for it. But if it went higher and it gave me this type of move, clearly I'm off sides at this point. Like then I'll believe like okay, we have the S&T. It's not going to go any higher. It's taken these stupid like this BS structure, right? Like this is what I call it like fake structure. It's taken this fake structure and that would give me the green light that instead of trying to long this gap or this spike down as like a an offset accumulation of longs, I would have shorted here. Okay. And then obviously we would get defensive in the 5 minute gap just to, give the high time frame some respect and take some size off. But I mean, after that point, I just feel like we got hosed. Like we just got super unlucky with stops. We just got super unlucky with getting like trailed out of trades, like crazy, crazy, crazy. So I feel like all the other trades were good trades, man. I feel like I'll have to go back and watch the stream and see what I did because I can't even really remember. All I know is that I had the one trade down here, which I thought was, I thought that was money, but SMT, it is what it is. I just was a little too aggressive on the ads. It messed up my average. It really shouldn't have been as big as a loss as it could have been, and I could have managed it slightly better, like I said. Up on the S&T, I could put in buy, like if I don't want to let go of the whole position, I could put in some buy stops to minimize the damage from my ads. We did get crushed with another spike up, and then at least we were patient enough to wait. I could have taken a long up to this high when we were, again, there was like 50% of this wick, which it looks like candles from 15-second chart, but I could have taken a long up here because I knew that this was going to get faded. So after it came up and stabbed up above that high, or like found have found a way to enter. I was looking to get long like over here really, but just never did because I didn't want to be wrong. And then finally said, you know, this is probably a short. Got stopped out. Like just absolutely disgusting action. So I feel like we had the right idea all day and then just got really unlucky. So that's super, super unfortunate. And then after seeing like and then after seeing this move down, I held that runner because I was aware that this was a possibility. Like I only know this stuff because I've sat in front of the charts for hours, days, thousands of hours, okay, and I've been through all these BS cycles. Like I've seen all these patterns happen before. Like, you know, and I've gotten burned trying to do the opposite. Like I've gotten burned saying like, oh, you know, certain things are gonna hold, you know, like that, whatever. So, oh man, like I'm sorry to vent to the chat and like, you know, be on like throwing this like hissy fit, but just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Could have been just an absolute smack up day. Um, you know, I guess I just have to kind of walk away, be happy that I didn't get crushed, be happy that I saw the move for what it was. Um, Also be happy that I understood that the move could have had more juice. I guess I just I didn't want to give up all 125 like after hammering that huge like 70 some point trade. Like you could have said like, oh, why did you trail your stop so aggressively? That's because I didn't want to lose more than $100 on a day like today. Like I had an opportunity to be even down here. You know what I mean? Like why would I like mentally in the mental state and how difficult this market was? Why would I not take size off and then trail aggressively to lock in a smaller loss? Like we were trailing, that's a 758 P&L swing. It's huge compared to my daily wins, or at least the wins that I aim for. You know, I'm really only aiming for $200 on good days, 250 or whatever. I may have to be slightly more ambitious, just to air out like these rough days. Like I may have to trade a little bit more aggressive. But holy crap, dude! Like, what a tough day, am I right? What a tough, tough day. You know, I'm glad I came back from the swing, and I'm glad I kept my composure as well as I could have. Like, you know, holding that trade, do you think holding that trade was easy? Holding that trade was the hardest thing in the world. That was incredibly difficult. Because at multiple times I'm seeing that too, and I'm like, you know, $300 down isn't too bad when you look at 758. $200 down isn't too bad when you look at 758. You know, all these numbers become not too bad, super manageable. So, holy crap. I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I can't be streaming for 6 hours a day. I gotta go to the gym. I have my other stuff that I gotta do. I have to study for these exams. Um, wow, man. Wow. Just wow. Like, what an unlucky type of day. But I guess that's the market. You know, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Wow. Well, whatever. Sitting and sulking is not going to change anything. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Um, yeah. I will not see you tomorrow, actually. So tomorrow is a no stream day for me. We'll see. I may not even trade. If I do trade, I try to do a recap. I'll go live again to do a recap, but man, I think it's best for me to just take a break. I feel like I got smoked today. You know, I feel like I was treated unfairly today. So I'm gonna bounce, just try to relax. It's been a rough couple of days, I guess. You know, yesterday was hard and today was hard, so can't win them all. But you know, I'm really proud of what I was able to recover and what I noticed and kind of gave into. I kind of just had to trust that, you know, the technicals, and I'm happy that I was able to do that enough. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope your day was far better than mine. Uh, Sorry if you were tailing me at any point and had to go through what I went through today. Uh, yeah, that's just how it works sometimes. So let's look at the 4 hour real quick, just see where we're standing. Yes went in, and Q did not. ES has not entered into that impulse range either on the 1 minute or the, I don't know, what is it, the 5 minute? What did I measure? The 15? So 15-minute impulse range wasn't hit either, so I would not bank on ES being done going lower. I also, considering that ES was the weaker SMT asset, so ES is now confirmed downside by taking out its SMT. I'd look for ES to move into the midpoint of this impulse range, at least. So if you want to dabble, be my guest. Me personally, no thanks. I'm good. So at least for now, let's just look at the chart. We still have the kick around account, but yeah, I'm good. I'd rather not. I'd rather not put myself through any more pain today. I'm okay. I'm happy. Ish. Happy-ish. Like happy-ish. Thankful, I guess, is another word. All right, guys. I know I say bye like a million times, but now for real. See you later. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy whatever else you got to do. Be careful. Obviously, charts are crushing. So, see you later.